From the Lives of Our Saints, Saint Paraskevi, the following are some thoughts on her life and works. Raised in the light of the Saviour when clouds of paganism were everywhere, Paraskevi was the delight of her parents, whose moderate affluence enabled them to provide her the best in education and religious training. The deaths of her parents, to whom she had been extremely devoted, served to turn her with greater resolve to the service of Jesus Christ. After reading the Lord's admonition quoted in St. Luke to "Sell that ye have and give alms," she disposed of her inheritance and embarked on the road that was to lead her to spiritual perfection. Paraskevi spoke on behalf of the Saviour with an intelligence and sincerity that was compelling, outdoing her male counterparts in winning converts drawn to a baptismal font by a magnetism that left no doubt in the minds of those about her that hers was a proximity to God that was quite real. In her every act, she evinced a piety and a calm assurance right out of heaven. The enemies of Christianity were ever on the lookout for the most influential of the Christian community, so it was only a matter of time before they set their evil sights on Paraskevi, who was quite aware of the imminent dangers she faced, but continued to ignore them in her anxiety to bring the light of Jesus Christ to all. Regarded by most of the faithless as harmless, Christians had only to fear the fanatics who adhered to a cruel code of vengeance, but whose influence could never be underestimated. The current Emperor Antonios was one of the agnostics who looked upon Christians as innocuous and no threat to his authority. But after listening to the accusations brought against Paraskevi, he decided that she should be judged by Roman law for her various crimes against the state. Brought before a magistrate to answer to charges of sorcery and treason for presuming to declare a higher authority than the emperor, Paraskevi defended herself with quiet reason and eloquence, all to no avail. It was then that she was condemned to be put to death by being placed in a huge cauldron of boiling oil. One of the witnesses to this horrible form of execution was the Emperor Antonios, who, with all others present, gaped in disbelief at Paraskevi, as Paraskevi stepped out of the seething oil without so much as a blister. When Antonios suggested that the oil was not hot enough, Paraskevi dipped her hand in the oil and tossed it into the face of the Emperor, who fell to the floor screaming, blinded by the scalding liquid. Paraskevi stepped forward and, in answer to the pleas of the Emperor, called upon the power of the Lord to restore the king's sight. This done, the grateful monarch ordered the freedom of the innocent woman, who thereafter preached for many years unmolested at the command of the emperor. When Marcus Aurelius came to power, Paraskevi was again singled out for punishment and beheaded on the 26th of July 180. Many years later, when a shrine to Paraskevi was built in Constantinople, its well water was found to contain miraculous powers, and it is from this well that water is brought to her shrine in Long Island. She is remembered as the patron saint of the blind.